and Yan, all of you for inviting me here and giving me the opportunity to, I would consider, step into the mainstream with a topic that people don't love talking about. So come in, there's seats back there. So yeah, when I came into giving this talk, I had an idea of what I wanted to deliver based on the fact that you're a bunch of creatives. And what's more powerful to feed creativity than what creates life? So what creates life? It is sex. So sex is this energy, is this experience that animates life and ideas and passion and fire. So I didn't think I was going to talk about it so obviously. So I decided to go on a different path. So I'm going to mix this up a bit and I'm going to see how it goes. So I want to start off by saying, for me, coming here as I call myself a bliss navigator or a tantric guide or something like that. I knew that I was going to be in front of artists and creatives. So I started to ask myself, what is creativity? And for me, I came to creativity being entering into a state of artistic expression and maintaining it. So then I said, all right, so how do we enter into states of artistic expression and how can we maintain it to the full potential? So where do ideas come from? Where do these ideas that spark creativity come from? Anybody? Vision. Where do you get vision from?
Seeing.
Personal experience.
Yeah.
Seeing. I like that. We're going to come back to that. Personal experiences. Yan, you said feelings in your topic. So feelings, emotion. Subconscious. And then I love that topic when they say, oh, I got this. Where'd you get this idea? I don't know. It came out of nowhere. So for me, it's like, I want to know where nowhere is and what's at nowhere and how to access the magic of nowhere. So this is what we're going to talk about. So before we begin, before we go on this journey, I just want everybody to close your eyes. Yeah, I'm doing it. I want everybody just to scan your body. Like literally just close your eyes and scan your body. And just figure out what you're feeling. Are you feeling any anxiousness, nervousness, excitement? Do you feel any blocks or tingling in your body? Where is all this coming from? Everybody good? Everybody has an idea of what their body's feeling? Coming back to me. Let's name some things. Just throw them up in the air.
Calm.
Sorry? Calm.
Excited.
Excited.
My eyes hurt. My eyes hurt.
Your eyes hurt. Somebody said tense?
Tense center.
Tense center.
I want to be loved.
Beautiful. All right, so now everybody stand up. And I want all of us to take, I'm going to stand up on this, not on the glass, so we don't have any accidents. Whoa. We're close. I know you're ready.
Go ahead.
All right. No. All right, so I want everybody to close their eyes again. And I want everybody to take a deep breath and exhale. Together, 1, 2, 3. All right? And now I want you to recognize of how silent that was. So I want you to do that again, and I want you to make a sound on your exhale. So 1, 2, 3. Let's do that 2 more times. Now shake your body as you do your last one. Shake, shake, shake. Really shake your body. Nobody's watching you except me, and that's okay. So, one more time. And now I want you to do it, and I want you to jump up and down. And now I want you to put your arms in the air and jump up and down and do it. The ones that are not doing it, notice yourself that you're not doing it. Why aren't you doing it? Your mind is talking too much. Close your eyes, jump up and down, wave your hands, and take a breath, and let me hear you. Coming back down to center. Keeping your eyes closed. And now scan your body again. See what's going on. Take a seat. So, can anybody popcorn style say a couple of things about what changed or what difference did you have a difference in state?
Heart rate.
Sorry?
My heart rate. Everything's like electric now.
Everything's electric.
Alive.
Alive. Sorry?
Oh, puffing to the altitude.
You smoke the electric things, right? Anything else?
Butterflies.
Butterflies. All right. So what changed? What changed? What made that experience different? Why, literally 3 minutes ago, you were feeling maybe a bit tense, feeling it here, some excitement, nervous excitement, whatever it was. What changed in your state? What made that state change?
We got into our body.
First, yes.
Focus.
Actually, I would say no. You're not out of focus.
So.
You came back into focus when you came back. Maybe I don't know. You know.
Doing something different.
I'm gonna bring it straight down to if you leave this class, this talk, with one thing, I want you to remember this. The difference in your state is the fact that you used breath, sound, and movement. So say that with me. Breath, sound, and movement. That is the cornerstone to moving life force energy through your body. So, this whole talk is not really about the act of sex, although we're going to talk a bit of that, but it's about the energy that animates our life, which is life force energy, known as chi, known as ka. Give me another one, prana. Different cultures have named this energy different names. And sexuality is basically sexual life. Thank you. Well done. We're talking about sexual life force. And the key to living expansive, awake, alive states is using the sexual life force energy, which originates in our root, and bring it through the rest of our body, so that the rest of our body can feel the same ecstasy that our root feels when we are in practice, sexual practice or whatnot. So, how can we move life force energy? There's different ways we could do this. I mean, we're here to talk about sex, but I was going to make a segue and have somebody say sex, and I'm like, great, you said it, now I can talk about it. So, but if you have to. So you can exercise, you could do yoga, dance. These are all sex. So these are all different ways to get the body moving. Now, anytime you work on in any practice that gets your life force energy life force energy moving or your body moving, what's so important is that you use breath, sound, and movement. And in today's society, we don't like using breath, sound, and movement. When we breathe, we take shallow breaths. Most of the time, we're just breathing until here. We're breathing to survive at the bare minimum. So the request, the invitation is to take deeper, conscious breaths that fill your body. And a real breath looks like an inflation of your stomach. So it looks like and notice I'm always putting the sound with it. Breath, sound, and movement moves the energy from the root upwards. Now, why would we want to do that? we have information centers in our body. And society wants you to believe that there's only two information centers, mind and body. Because that's what this society, this culture venerates. It venerates what you know. How much do you know? What can I do? How can I exploit that information from your mind? And then it says, what do you look like? Body types. Some body types are better than others. What else does the body tell you? The body tells you when it's healthy, when it's not healthy. So it's basic, it's very basic, mind, body. I'm sure a lot of you, practice yoga or whatnot, but there's more information centers in the body. Mystically, almost every mystical tradition speaks of three information centers: the mind, the heart, and the sex. They're portals into our divine selves. In the East, they speak of the chakra system. A show of hands, does everybody know what a chakra is? Who doesn't know what a chakra is? Great. Okay, not a problem. I'll go through it very, very quickly. Basically, chakras are information centers. We have 7 of them. They start at our root, which dictates security. Second chakra is the sacral chakra, dictates sexuality. Third is the solar plexus. It's our power, how we show up in the world, how we manifest in the world. Fourth is our heart, the expression of love, the expression of this generosity, of giving nature, charity. Fifth is the throat, how we speak. That's literally how we should manifest in the world, how we interact. Sixth is our third eye, our intuition. 7 is our crown, our opening, our ability to receive. So when you add 5 more information centers to your body, all of a sudden you have access to that much more information. So we're using breath, sound, and movement to move sexual life force from our root up our whole body. And as we do this, we allow our energy, these information centers, to be activated, awake, alive, and ready to receive the subtle information that's coming to us constantly in the world. And when we're connected to this, we're also able to communicate through different parts of our body. And imagine when you actually bring that into your lovemaking, when you start penetrating people with your heart, when you start penetrating people with your third eye. It's no longer a genital-focused journey towards the mission of the orgasm and ejaculation. It becomes a journey of a union of souls and how you can connect with each other from different information centers. So I won't go much more to that, but say this. When we don't have a harmonized chakra system, we're out of balance. Sometimes certain chakras are overactive. A lot of men are in the overactive sex chakra, so they're hunters, they're chasing, they're trying to close deals. Or women, or a person could be very open in the heart and they find themselves falling in love, and then, so we have to walk, or like some people are just a big mouth, like they just talk too much, and other people don't talk enough. So it's like this is what happens when our chakras are not balanced. So I'll give you 2 examples, like generalizations that I like to play with. New Agers. Everybody know what a New Ager is? All the peace, love, hippies. I love them. I'm one of them, but I don't dress like them. But I'm kind of like one of them. So hippies and the New Agers, a lot of the time, is that they're all like upper chakras. It's all upper chakras. So it means that they're in their heart, they want to connect, they want to tell you how everything's okay. When problems arise, it's all good, it's part of the whole, we're all one. They all play this storyline. And then they connect to the Archangel Michael, and it's all very up here. And then when you're asking them, okay, they have many ideas, they want to change the world, but it's a lot of ideas. And it never happens. Why doesn't it happen? Because New Agers oftentimes reject the lower chakras. So they can't manifest anything. Well, they can manifest. Of course, I said this is a generalization. But it's more difficult to manifest if you're not actually engaging the lower chakras. You're only operating from a air space. On the other side, you have people that are sex obsessed, whatever, I won't even name types of people, but just people that have a lot more desire and focus on sexuality. Means they're going to be more lower chakra based, and they're going to use their power center to actually take that life force energy, bring it up into their power, and they actually manifest. These are the guys that are wolves of Wall Street. These are the powerful people, the real estate agent. These are people that understand what their goal is. They actually tap into their creative life force, and they direct it. But, on the other hand, they're not connected to anything beyond their own egos. Again, generalizations. But they're focused on themselves and how they're manifesting in the world. When you bring it together, you can actually start to turn yourself inside out and say, how can I actually go beyond myself and the ego and actually serve something bigger than myself? A collective purpose. And as artists, that's what we're doing. There's one part of us that wants to do the great thing that everybody talks about and we get our name in lights. And the other thing we're trying to do is actually make a statement, leave a mark, leave a message, inspire somebody, go towards something, have a feeling, make a change. That's what artists are about. They're the visionaries of society. They're the ones that see things. They're the ones that can express things. They're the ones that the only free speech form right now is art, is theater, is painting. We're limited so many places. So the artist, the creative, has the potential to paint the world. What I'm here to imbue in you is the fact that we're no longer in a time where we have to deny ourselves. We are a whole. We were born a whole, and we have to use the whole. So when I speak of sex, I don't speak on culturally scripted sex. And what is culturally scripted sex? From one side is repression, taboo, dirty, animalistic. The other side we have in today's day and age, so that's one side of trying to cut you off from your power, your life force, to fill your whole body. And the second side is actually change the idea of the impact of sexuality by instilling messages and visions of what sexuality is. And what do we see? We see pornography. Pornography has become the modern gender, sex role script that we all pick from. Not we all, but the statistics are very high of how much use there is of pornography. It's like 6 out of 10 kids watch their first pornographic movie under 11 years old, something like that. So that's impactful. So what's happening when we're changing the script of sexuality in the minds of impressionable children around what the potential of sex is? You know, we have entertainment, we have entertainers, musicians, singers, borrowing from porn culture to be cool in mainstream culture. We have makeup companies or any type of clothing companies letting everybody know that you are less than and you're not enough. And if you don't use this product, you do not have the beauty and you do not have the potential to call in what you desire. So that's not the sex I'm talking about. So when I speak of sex, take everything that we know in culture, crumple it up and throw it out the window. As artists, we have to dare to imagine. So right now I'm asking you to dare to imagine. I'm asking you to imagine a world where sex was taught to us from a place of empowerment. Where our elders showed us rites of passage so that we knew how to show up. as men, what would happen if we were taught how to show up for a woman, how to touch a woman, how to prepare a woman's body to actually have a man penetrate? As a woman, what would happen if she understood the true cycle of her moon? What happens at every quarter? And what happens if you actually use this act, this sexual act, and raise it to the sacred? If a woman is able to bring life into the world through the act of sexuality, why is it when we're not in procreation, are we denying the magic and the sacredness of this experience? And we all do it. We all do it because we feel that we have to play into the script. We feel that we have to keep up with the Joneses or something like that. We feel that if we're not doing what everybody else is doing, maybe we're missing out on something. So we've actually chosen to release the power of our sexuality and bring it to the profane. What I'm inviting everybody to imagine is imagine if sexuality was sacred. Imagine if sexuality was a prayer. Imagine if sexuality was a meditation. This is the level of sexuality that I've learned about, and this is the level of sexuality that I'm practicing. And since I started practicing this 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I changed my life. So, there's 4 types of sex. There's procreational sex, which is we make sex for babies, we have sex for babies. Recreational sex, we have fun. There's nothing wrong with recreational sex. So let me reinforce, when I speak of profane, it's only because there's a lack of consciousness. But recreational sex with consciousness is just a way to bring more bliss in our life. And because we don't want to bring consciousness into our recreational sex, we go after bliss and ecstasy by using drugs, by using alcohol's escapism. Ultimately, that's what we're looking for. We're looking to get to that space of sex is ecstatic. Sex makes me feel good. Sex invigorates me, which brings me to the 3rd type of sex, restorative sex. Restorative sex, when somebody has a headache, when somebody's not feeling good. Most people is like, oh, I have a headache, I don't want anything. I always keep saying, if you have a headache, I've got the antidote for you. But seriously, it's proven. It's proven sex brings wellness into our life. And because society has either taught you to repress it or to come from a unconscious place, it is oftentimes unsatisfactory. It leaves us wanting. The 4th type of sex is transformational sex. That's the sex that you have, and when it's over, you're not the same person. And this could be very subtle, but it's like a butterfly effect. A butterfly flaps its wing, there's a tsunami on the other side of the planet. And ultimately, this is what I'm looking at in terms of my sex. My sex is planetary transformational. Why? Because I'm conscious that I can't make it. Because when I am with a woman, or when a woman is with me, we understand we are bringing 2 temples together. And when we bring 2 temples together and we pray at the altar of sacred sex, then anything is possible. Now, what's the major difference between the first 2 sexes and the second? Is the first 2, you could be unconscious and you could make a baby. You could be unconscious and you could have recreational sex, thinking that it's fun but really leaving you wanting more. The second 2, you can't be unconscious. You can't be unconscious to have restorative sex. You can't be unconscious to have transformational sex. You have to be present. You have to know. Why? Because in restorative sex, if you're a man and you're having sex and you're ejaculating, you're not restoring your energy body, you're depleting your energy body. So now it's like, men hate this part because I'm about to tell them that ultimately, if men really want to have really powerful, restorative, transformational sex, You can't ejaculate. Crickets. Crickets. Not that you can ejaculate. That's the dogma, right? And to me, I believe any dogma is off. So, why do we say that? We say that because when a man ejaculates, he's actually releasing his life force. That's why he falls asleep within minutes. So if a man learned how to sublimate his ejaculation, he could actually reach orgasm without ejaculating. And that's a fact. That's true. That happens. And you know how you do that?
Show.
Breath, sound, and movement. Breath, sound, and movement. Breath, sound, and movement. Why? Because if you're having sex, I'm going to speak to the men for a second. Women, take notes, tell your lovers. When you're having sex, and you're just like, how do we usually try not to ejaculate? Is we think of baseball, we think of sports, worst case scenario, we think of our grandmas, like, we really don't want to come.
Think of
Whitney. No, but seriously, you could leave all of that behind. And I'm telling you, you could get fully into your presence, and you could get fully into your pleasure, and what you have to do is practice your breath, your sound, and your movement. So what that looks like is breaths as you're peaking, that you slow down your movement, and you're taking deeper breaths with really big sound. And we're ashamed to sound. For whatever reason. Our kids are in the other room, our parents, the neighbors, whatever it is. So we don't sound. And when we don't sound and we're holding our breath because we don't want to come, that's when we're going to come. That's exactly when we're going to come. Because we have no control, because we're saying that I want the energy to stay here and I want it to tighten here. But if we're saying I want to breathe, so you're starting to take a breath and you're like, it's outward. It's a prayer. It's into the world. So think of every sound as actually where you're praying. Now, for women, restorative sex looks like bringing yourself up to peak, dropping, bring yourself up to peak, dropping, bring yourself up to peak, and then having an orgasm. Or not. It's not even about orgasms. But what I hear from women that report from me, when they have orgasms, they're activated. Their life force moves up. They're alive. They can take on the world. So ultimately, if men knew how to withhold their ejaculation in order to continue making love, still feeling the ecstasy of orgasm, they're able to bring their partner more times to ecstasy. And ultimately, it is the woman who is creating the prayer and bringing it into manifestation. She is the creatrix. She is the mother. She creates. Isis. Now, what brings sex from two bodies rubbing together to that of the realm of the sacred? And it's intention. It's very simple. It's intention and presence. So intention is actually before entering into any type of touch and deliciousness and excitement and acceleration, that we actually have a moment of consciousness and presence and lock eyes and speak from our heart. What is our intention? What do we want to bring into the world? What do we want to create into the world? What visions do you want to see? And then you make love. And you send that out into the universe. In addition to being intention, it's coming to heart. It's heart-based lovemaking. And when I say heart-based lovemaking, I'm not saying that you have to be in love with the person. And I'm not saying you have to be promiscuous and sleep with a bunch of people, because that's the way you're going to make the best sex magic. It's about coming to heart. Because we have to understand that we are divine beings. We are the expression of Creator. Because of Creator, we are here. We are an expression. So what is that? We are manifest spirit and animal. So we are actually the world bridge of these two places, making us very special beings. And the bridge is in the heart. And the heart does not need commitment and deep relationship to actually just zone in and say, we're going to make love now, even just looking in each other's eyes. I won't penetrate you because I don't have permission, but just saying, this could be an experience. But just eye gazing is a form of love making. Just eye gazing is a form of love making. So, if we understand that we are the manifestation of Creator, the extension of Creator, we understand that we are this weird mix of animal and spirit, and we choose not to deny our sexuality, our animal, and we choose to engage with the animal, and bring in intention and spirit, we come together at the heart, and that's where the prayer is. And when I say you don't have to be in love, it comes straight down to namaste. What is namaste? I see the divine is in you as I acknowledge the divine in me. So if two divine beings are coming together, and they're looking in each other's eyes, and they're making an intention, and they make love under that intention. It could be a common intention, it could be two different intentions. As long as they're voiced out with each other, it is the prayer. Now, that is the love piece. The love piece is seeing and honoring the divine being within each other. Now, somebody might say, well, I'm not in a relationship. I don't like having sex with a lot of people. Like I said, this is not about promiscuity. This is about self-activation. Self-activation. Sexuality begins with oneself. Nobody is responsible for your pleasure. Nobody is responsible for how you show up in your sexuality except for you. It is your responsibility to charge your body. It is your responsibility to move your energy. It is your responsibility to pray. Don't wait for your partner to bring you to that place of ecstasy. It is all available within you. Once you understand how to connect with it within yourself, it is at that time you are actually ready to share it with another. So it's not really about being with another. It's about self-activation. And yes, you could be in a monogamous relationship. And yes, you could be in a polyamorous relationship. And yes, you could like kinky sex. And yes, you could like romantic sex. And yes, you could like really dirty sex. It's all okay. It's all sacred. As long as we bring it back to our intention. With intention, come in. Just space. With intention, you have space to heal. With consciousness, you have space to expand. So how do we make this creative? So I'm going to tell you a bit about myself. My name is Frank Mondeose. I'm the Spiritual Playboy. That's how I'm known. Why am I the Spiritual Playboy? I'm the Spiritual Playboy because about 12 years ago, I started hosting sexy parties. They grew to 1,000+ people. The concept is a thematic party, a sexy theme. I choose a sexy theme. Everybody comes dressed in that sexy theme. And we dance to really amazing, delicious, sexy house music. And throughout the night, there's sexy performances happening. Whether it be burlesque, circus, drama, theater, there's things happening. So I built that when I was very in the lower chakras. I wanted access to beauty. I wanted access to sensuality. I wanted to share my lovemaking, myself and my partner's lovemaking with a collective. At my parties, there's no sex. There's no sex that happens. At my party, it's a dance party. But this energy flows through. So About 6 years ago, I had the aha moment, and I started to connect in the heart and open the upper chakras, and I brought into the spiritual aspect. So now I'm a spiritual playboy because I know how to have fun, I know how to get sexy, I know how to celebrate beauty. There's nothing wrong with being in the place of owning one's bliss and owning one's deliciousness, because that is how we feel, that's how we're expanded, that's how we call in that what we want. And at the same time, I understand perfectly that this absolutely is a gift. And this absolutely is a prayer and magic. So, as an event producer, I had to come up with themes, I had to come up with visuals, I have to come up with storylines, I have to come up with prayers, because yes, everybody that ever danced in one of my parties had their energy directed to something collective when I became conscious. So, I am an artist as well, I am a creative as well. And when I started to bring consciousness to my sexuality, while I was making love with no mind, because when you're making love, the key thing to do is be in presence, don't be in mind, and get out of performance. That's the key. So when I'm in no mind, completely present to my beloved's body and spirit in front of me, I was getting messages. I was getting a glimpse. I saw something. I saw a visual. And I was making love, and I was breathing, and I was allowing the energy to move through me, and portals would open, and I would get a bit more of a glimpse. Love making would end. I'd be like, man, that was amazing. Give me a second. I need to journal. Or I would just start expressing what I saw. And it was from that seed, that small atom, that I would build large events around, and everything would come out of that. The visuals, the colors, the energy, the sense, the sensations. It would all come from that one glimpse. So for me personally, when I am in conscious lovemaking, and I am in presence, and I am in, everything I said, it is with no mind. When you are in no mind, you open the possibility to receive information. Now, maybe you won't get a vision. Not everybody gets a vision. Practice some more. That's what I suggest. Practice. But what you will get is life force energy. You will charge your life force energy. And if you're using
Breath sounds.
you're going to be charging your body, and when you're charging your body, you're not going to be sluggish on the couch, eating potato chips, watching another episode of Oprah or Days of Our Lives, whatever it is. You're going to be wanting to be in the world creating. This energy in you, when it's alive, needs to go outward. And when we direct that energy towards the intentions of our lovemaking, we enter into action. And there is no manifestation, there's no manifestation possible if you're just making love with intention. You need to follow up that intention with action. You need to be into the world. You need to put one foot in front of the other. You need to pick up the paintbrush. You need to get on your computer, the pen, write, do something. Do something that follows up what your intention was. And now, you have the universal life force behind you. Now you are acting in the image of your Creator. You become Creator. And when you become Creator, you actually are channeling the divine. So when you introduce something larger than yourself, than your own little ego, and you start directing for growth in the collective, I guarantee you, the forces will feed and charge your life force energy to manifest that. Just trying to see what else I want to say. I know a lot of things here. Yes, this is what I want. So, at this point, I'm going to invite all of you. What time check, please?
15 minutes.
Okay, perfect. At this point, I'm going to invite all of you, when you enter into your next lovemaking sessions, and you actually want to raise your lovemaking to something ceremonial, that you engage in these simple practices. Number one, so these are my spiritual best practices. Number one, clear your emotional body. Nobody wants something full of baggage. And it's not about rejection. It's about when you come into ceremony, traditionally, you purify. You wash your hands. You bathe. When you got some people walked in, they said it smelled delicious. It was Palo Santo. I started creating the cleansing atmosphere. So as you walked in, your auras were cleansed. Emotional release can look like having a good cry, having a good hand scream. Can look like having a good pillow pound. Really? Pound your fucking pillows. It's great. Trust me, it clears the emotional body. When you're clearing your emotional body, you're creating more space. If you want to create magic in the world, if you want to be creative in the world, you have to give your body temple as much space as possible to fill it with ecstatic energy and not crap. Not the lack beliefs. Not the stories we tell ourselves to be small. Not the stories our culture tells us to be small. Our culture does not want us to be connected. Our culture does not want us to be in our power. When we are sexually sovereign, when we understand the potential of our sex as a sacred force, as a manifestation force, we become dangerous. Because we are affecting the collective. It's vibrational. If everybody in the collective is having porn sex, which is humiliating and degrading, and it's okay if you like that with intention, but if you're doing it unconsciously because that's what I think I have to do to please my boyfriend or please my girlfriend, that is the vibration. It's unconscious. It's low. But if we're coming and we're bringing sacred sex and we're clearing our emotional bodies and then setting our environment, making it smell good, making it feel good. I love the space in this space. This is a beautiful space. The lighting is gorgeous. We have the mountains. We have a beautiful group of people. Beautiful fireplace. This is perfect. We state our intentions. We're not afraid to state big intentions. And we're not afraid, while we're in the throes of ecstasy, where it's like, yes, yes, more, more. Give me that vision. I want to support XYZ. Call it out. I need to find financial abundance. Bring in the money. Show me the money. If it's in your highest good for you to have more financial abundance, it will manifest one way or another. Why would it be good for you to have more financial abundance? Because if you're going to use that financial abundance to put it out into the world with your creative and inspiration and inspire others, well, you're actually serving the collective. So why wouldn't the universe want you to have more money? If you wanted to get your new car so that you could go down, I don't know, Ventura Boulevard, or I don't know, I'm not from LA, some big cool place in Beverly Hills so that you could look good, so you could pick up for your own hunting and scoring and unconscious sex, there's a good chance it's not going to manifest. So it's always, is your intention in integrity? Is it in the highest good? Or are you using this for self-promotion, self-gain? Technically, that's black magic. Just saying. Be careful. And then finally, move to action. So those are the ingredients of bringing in more creativity in your life. And from a physical perspective, as I said, it's breath, sound, and movement. It's about circulating this life force energy. See? Yeah, I come there. Yeah, that's exactly where we are. So, sex as a meditation or as a prayer. Actually, I want to say one more thing. Osho, who is a 20th century mystic, died in around 1989, if I'm not mistaken, was amazing. He was the father of Neo-Tantra. Tantra is the sacred, the pathway, the sacred pathway of wholeness, oneness, using sexuality as part of that oneness. He said that the only time you could commune with God was through meditation and sexuality. And he said that the best case scenario for most people is go find God through sex because it's easier. And once you understand the pathway, go into meditation. And when you meditate, you'll find that path. And what do those two things have in common? Sex and meditation. That when we are in our peak state, when we are in our highest form of meditation, or when we are in the highest form of ecstatic release during sexuality, two things happen. Check it out next time. We drop into egolessness. It is the one moment we really don't give a fuck what we look like, what we sound like, or what we're doing. We have abandoned our ego. And we are in a complete emptiness state. And the second thing is we enter timelessness. Egolessness, timelessness. Meditation, sexuality, ecstatic bliss. That's God. You're home when you're there. And ultimately, that is what each one of us continually seek out in our life. That space where we don't have to be in the ego, that we could be completely released to be in our true self expression, and that we're not worried about where we have to be or that time even exists. It's in that nowhere zone. So, to make sex a prayer, we need to do 4 things. We need to cultivate life force energy. We need to circulate life force energy. We need to transmutate life force energy. And we need to direct life force energy. So ladies and gentlemen, when I say we bring intention when we're trying to make a baby, most of the time, or hopefully there's more babies being made with intention, that we bring that same consciousness and magic to every experience we have. And if we brought that energy to every experience we have, imagine what we could create in this world as a collective. So, I'm going to ask, do we want to do an exercise of activation, circulation, transmutation?
Yeah.
Cultivation, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's going to be short. It's going to be like another one of those, ooh, ah, ooh. So it's going to be one of those. So we're going to try it. So everybody stand up. I'm going to try to get on the table again. So, after this talk, by this time, I really consider us that we've gone on a journey. We've been on an intimate journey. You've allowed me to share my life purpose. You've allowed me to share what stimulates me. And you were beautiful enough to be open and receiving of this message. So that was communal lovemaking. I see it as that way. So I really believe that we have a bit of a deeper relationship. I'm trying to scan the room to remember faces so that we're going to be like, yeah. But, so the point is I don't want you really thinking of what you look like. The first invitation is get out of the mind. Close your eyes and get into your body. Don't close yet because I need to show you what we're doing. So it's going to be like pretty elementary. All of this Tantra stuff, it's very intuitive and it's very elementary. So we're just going to start taking breaths like this. Ooh. Visualize it coming in. Now take a deep breath and scoop up all the energy. Bring it up to your heart. Bring it up to your throat. Take a sniff and release. So that's it. We're going to do that 2 more times. And we're going to see if our body, if our root, if our sacral starts getting charged, and if it's actually moving throughout our body. So here we go. We're going to do this. Are we okay? Am I doing anything wrong?
You're so good.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. Ha! 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 Breathe in. Sniff. Release. Close your eyes. Just feel. Feel for a second. Feel. Anybody feeling any buzzing in their body?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. I like the response. It's a nice response. I didn't expect that. I was expecting silence, but we are no longer silent beings because we understand breath, sound, and movement charges life force energy. Do you want to do it one more time, or we got the picture?
Yes.
Let's do it one more time. All right, here we go. So let's do this time through, in and out through our mouth. So it's like a sipping. Okay, so let's do it. Ha! 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 Faster! Ha! 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 Bigger! Sniff. Release. Shit. And now, actually, I'm going to invite everybody to find somebody in the room and just give them a hug. Hold on, before you do it. Come here, please. The way I want you to hug is really align your chakras. So find something that you're comfortable with and allow all your chakras to touch each other. Like really go body to body. Just go body to body. And just sink into it. Now keep the hug, keep the embrace, and just sink into it. Sink into it. Sink into it. Feel how your chakras are speaking. Feel. No talk, no mind. We're in feeling sense here. Feel. And when that feels complete, you can let go. And that, my brothers and sisters, is lovemaking. So take a seat. I have maybe 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes. So if that stimulated you, If you feel that you learned something, if you think something shifted, if you think there was a change in consciousness, if you think that this lovemaking session was transformational because you are no longer the same being, I'm going to invite you to check out the International School of Temple Arts. That's the school I teach with. It's called ISTA. We give a 7-day transformational retreat called the Spiritual Sexual Shamanic Experience. It's a journey of clearing the baggage, the old stories, the lack beliefs, the wounds, the traumas from family, from lovers, from lineal, from past lives. We help you release that, and then we help you reclaim your pleasure without any shame, fear, and guilt. And then we show you how to direct that energy so that every time you put your hands on a being, that it is healing, that it is expansive. This is what we do. This is what we're doing. We are creating virtual temples. They're momentary temples around the planet. They go up for a week. We teach the ancient practices of the goddess, actually. Not the god, but the goddess. Because the feminine is returning. Her heart, her love, her sex, her creative potential. And we send people out in the world with more personal sovereignty, personal freedom, and more love. More unconditional love of the mother, which is what the planet needs right now. We don't need marches. We don't need marches. We don't need masculine marches. We need to call in the feminine energies and say, what would the mother do? How would the mother fix this problem? Would the mother fix, or would she just love? And how does that look? So my brothers and sisters, my invitation is to use your self-love as an artistic expression. Connect with your life force energy. There's nothing to be ashamed of it. There's only the potential for connection and sharing of bliss and love, which is what we need more in our lives. So I'm asking you to dare. Dare to imagine. Dare to create. Dare to vision new potentials. And dare to step out of the box. Because the loving are the daring. Let love free. Thank you very much.